The film opens with a view of the steam ferry by William Mellors, laden with passengers approaching a dock at the Ellis Island immigration station. The vessel is stopped, the gangway is placed, and the immigrant passengers are seen coming up the gangway and onto the dock, where they cross in front of the camera. Immigration in the U.S. from 1730 to 1965, explaining the situation and what caused immigration. Starting from the 1890s, immigration could be found across the Pacific Coast states. Europeans, Chinese, and Japanese entered California from the sea, attracted by the high wages and great opportunities, and many become agricultural laborers. Triangle Show was fired. The fire at the Triangle West Company in New York City, which claimed the lives of 146 young immigrant workers, is one of the worst disasters since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Immigration spikes due to the rise of industrial capitalism, which generated a huge demand for labor. Immigration Act. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, also known as the Hart-Celler Act, is the federal law passed by the 89th United States Congress and signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson. The law abolished the national origin formula, which has been the basis of U.S. immigration policy since the 1920s. The Immigration Act of 1924 limits the number of immigrants allowed entry into the United States through a national origin quota. The quota provides immigration visas to 2% of the total number of people of each nationality in the United States as of the 1890 national census. It completely excludes immigrants from Asia. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 was the first significant law restricting immigration into the United States. Many Americans on the West Coast attributed declining wages and economic ills to Chinese workers. Although the Chinese compose only 0.02% of the nation's population, Congress passed the Exclusion Act, places worker demands and assumes prevents concerns about maintaining white racial property, meant to curb the influx of Chinese immigrants to the United States, particularly California. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 suspended Chinese immigrants for 10 years and declared Chinese immigrants ineligible for naturalization. American experience with Chinese exclusion spurred later movements for immigration restriction against other undesirable groups such as Middle Easterners, Hindu and East Indians, and the Chinese with the passage of the Immigration Act of 1924.